Hey Jay, got several helmets from EFX. Maybe you can
Right.
lead the charge on this.
Up to the plate on this one. Okay, yeah. We can talk about this a little bit. So, a little controversial, EFX, right? Because of some of the things that had taken place and people not understanding, why they would cut so much slack, especially with this project specifically. I think it was somewhere around 8, 9 years, give or take, in the making, where when they started out their Vader helmet, they did the three versions: the Limited, the Legend, and the PCR, which we'll get to. But the Biker Scout was also supposed to be a Legend helmet, which this one is technically. Also the Boba, which just ended up as a PCR. So the thing about this, right? We've seen a number of posts, and I don't think anybody should be punished for enjoying this. If you got this and you love it, and you've waited 9 years for it, and it's all that you thought it could be and more, then you know what? I tip my hat to you. I think it's something that you should display proudly and enjoy it. Now, there is going to be some criticism because EFX had a pretty difficult time nailing this, and aesthetically, it does look a little off. But I'm not here to pick apart the helmet in that manner. I think for the price, I mean, it's right in line with a licensed piece where the blaster is cast directly from a screen used, and the helmet itself is, directly from screen used bucks.
Which one are we looking at here, Jason? They don't list you mentioned three types. I don't see.
This one's the Legend. So they did the Limited, which was on the clear stand. So that one got released. They had the clear stand with the little silver plaque, and this is the Legend.
To say Legend anywhere on here, or?
I don't know if they. I don't know. No, I don't think. Maybe this is a Sideshow. Yeah, maybe Sideshow just didn't put it.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one is the Limited, which basically gives you, when you have the way EFX operates in that sense, the Limited is as close as you can get to the original screen used asset, meaning in design, the way it was manufactured, and the way the paint job, etc., lines up. Now, again, that could be argued, right? That could be contested easily because a lot of people express how they didn't like the paint job. The inside is heavily lined with padding and such. But again, it's a licensed product, so they're not going to leave something looking unfinished because licensed products are usually purchased by the masses. And although the original screen used one, I hate to say it, but RS is the best example for anyone who owns that. You see the inside is raw. You see it's two hats fused together. That's basically what you saw on screen. But this is a little bit cleaned up and a little bit more, as we discussed last night, sanitized or idealized. But I think I think overall it's a decent piece. And I don't think anybody should be badgered for owning it and enjoying it. Everybody's open to their opinions, and everybody has the right to their opinion of it. But overall, it's a decent piece. I think it's a little overpriced. I think for the amount of time that it took to release was a bit egregious, but otherwise, yeah, it's a Biker Scout helmet.
All right, so I'm going to play the counterpoint here on you, Jason, a little bit. So a couple things I noticed about this helmet is the asymmetry in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The right eye looks a little bit droopy. I was looking at my RS1. I don't really see that.
Right to me.
Sorry?
That looks right to me. I'm holding mine.
I don't see any droopiness in yours. Hold on, let me pull it up.
No, there's a little bit of a difference.
The side opposite mentioned.
I'm not seeing nearly as much droopiness. Like if you look at the top edge here. Let me go back to this. Hold on, CC. See this top edge right here on that side?
Oh, I thought you meant the lower, like the. Let me try to see if I can pop this up. This part.
Okay. So let's work our way around. I'm noticing that line droops in. I'm noticing that side is smaller. Do you have the FX? Is that the FX in your hand?
This is the RS that I mentioned when we started. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Okay. All right.
One thing, Steve. I'm not trying to defend this helmet in any way, but we could definitely sit here and pick it apart, right? But here's the thing: the biker scouts were made plentiful, right? They made quite a few. So these, although both lead back to, production or screen use assets, they both can come from two completely different, originating pieces. So this may
Yeah.
come from one set of bucks, the other one may have a totally different buck. A lot like if you look here for the EFX, for example, if you look at the airs, look at the right air and the left air. See how they're misaligned and asymmetric?
Yeah. No, and totally normally asymmetry. What happens for me when I get a piece like this is I look at it and I notice the asymmetry, and then I go looking for reference that says, yeah, that's right. Okay. I haven't been able to find any reference that says, yeah, that's right. Maybe there is, but that eye to me really jumped out at me, and maybe it does come from a different different lineage to where it came from, and that's perfectly normal. But to me, the eye really jumped out at me.
Oh yeah, it does. It's visually, it definitely throws you off a bit. It threw me off.
And I've seen some people with it in hand where it looks even much
it does.
worse.
It's much more prominent for sure.
Yeah. The other thing I noticed about this is the paint job. It definitely looks like somebody took a spray can to it and hit it with the spray can to do the weathering. Some of the dots are really particularly large. The paint blobs on it are particularly large on it. So overall, for me, I'm not impressed by the look of it. And then you add the base with the man. Why did you you're adding a pistol to this, and then you glue it to the base? It's just, I just don't understand the whole thing. I don't know.
It's like a stunt pistol too.
Oh, I just realized. I bet it has to do with their license.
Yeah, because you can't do.
They're not. They're probably. I mean, they make the lightsabers, but they're probably not licensed for weapons, so that they had to put it on the base permanently. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to include it.
No, they're licensed for weapons. The weapon can't be a standalone piece.
I just realized that's a miniature bunker as the base.
Yeah, it is. It's a miniature bunker. Yeah.
Oh God, I hate
Does that make you want it even more?
I'm not a big fan of those at all.
Oh, I hate that.
I didn't know what it was.
Is this the one behind you, Cece?
No, no, I have the RS.
Oh, I hate King Kong bases.
I didn't pre-order this 9 years ago. Sorry.
9 years ago. That's too bad.
Were you like 10 at that time, Cece?
Ouch.
That's actually nice.
I hate King Kong bases. I really do.
Here's another thing too, and just to play devil's advocate. Now this isn't fact. I mean, this is just kind of hearsay and rumor, but I think there's some substance to it. Now everybody thinks that EFX was doing a rug pull, right? That there was this like sort of seedy American greed situation going on, but this is a complicated helmet to produce and make. And just because RS pops them out the way they do, and even some other custom makers, when you have a factory producing this, trying to get it right, especially where you want to have it look imperfect, because the limited run is cleaned up and idealized, just like the Vaders, which we'll talk about in a moment. They were having a really difficult time producing it the way it should be produced. And eventually I think they had to find a way to make it as one solid piece. So I think they produced one after the other, and nothing was coming out right. And probably, I probably went as far as maybe switching factories and, changing hands and, going over various levels of quality control. I mean, that doesn't excuse 9 years, but
are you trying to make people feel better, or like what?
No, but I'm
just trying to play the other side, Matt. I mean,
I didn't think there was another side. That's
fine. But because we can't just come with our pitchforks and nooses and just go for the effects. At the end of the day, like there are reasons.
The thing that I have, Jason, is when I look at this, I'm not sure if this is trying to be a idealized piece or an accurate piece.
Supposed to be inaccurate, but they couldn't establish it, so it became idealized. Is what happened.
Right. Dude, look at Steve. Look at the text that your mouse is over right now. Read that piece of text.
Well, my mouse is over.
No,
the
it's
helmet.
over, whatever the mount with that one right there. The piece of text is to the right of the helmet.
As a result, this is set in one of the most accurate representations of the screen use props.
I mean, are we just not supposed to? Like, that's what they're trying to make.
I don't agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. Now Jason did make a good point. You know, you don't know what the original mold, you know, the lineage of this piece. I was pointing out earlier how droopy that eye is, and I don't think that's right. But they very well might go back to something that had.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even talking about that. To me, just the weathering looks like dog shit. But now, you know, maybe that's supposed to be looking like that. I don't know.
I do think that the weathering is particularly bad. Last night we were looking at pictures of Scout helmets afterwards, and they're actually weathered a hell of a lot more. And even the RS one doesn't have nearly the weathering that they did on screen. I would love
heavily weathered.
Well, there's multiple colors. There's brown weathering.
Yeah, I got you.
And the lens is all scuffed up, right. And it's a lot more. And when I looked at it, I kind of thought, oh, gee, I'd love to go to RS and ask them to make us some like really weathered ones.
Yeah, sure.
So I even from that perspective, I think the weathering could be a lot more. But when I look at this, to me, when I look at this one, I think somebody took a spray can and hit it with the spray can a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the RS one is a lot smoother, a lot more natural. Which one is more screen accurate? You know, because some people point out that you do see some paint spots on screen used ones at times as well.
Sure.
I don't know. I look at this thing and I think, I'm not attracted to this one at all. I wouldn't want this one.
I'd almost say it's the photographs, but I haven't liked the weathering in hand photos as well. I just think the issue is like these photos, it looks so stark. Like the helmet looks stark white, and then it has that like rattle can where there's a lot more like degrees of weathering as far as there's like you know, dark areas, and then there's like mid areas, and then there's light areas. Whereas this, it looks like it's white, and then they just took black, and there's no in between.
Yeah, I mean, look, the helmet is what it is. I think it doesn't look great, but whatever. Maybe it is accurate to whatever they're trying to replicate. The base is unforgivable. Like the base is just embarrassing. I mean, come on.
Yeah, the theme bases. Please stop with the themed bases.
The problem with the theme base, I know this can be subjective. Most things can be subjective, right? I like chicken, you like fish, etc., whatever. But with the theme bases, it seems to be across the board. I haven't yet met a single person that's like, I love me a theme base. Not only that, we talk about this constantly. It visually deters from the piece. It competes with it.
Yeah.
It competes with it, and it hurts it. And it's one of those things where it takes more time. You have to go into, product and development. You have to, look, the Lando helmets were finished before the bases, and it delayed shipping on the first batch. It's just one of those things where it's like,
and this
theme bases aren't.
And Jason, you're right. This is the problem. This is the problem right here. That like 10 years and you get this piece of shit.
No,
like
no,
I'm sorry, like come on.
You're right. 10 years and it's like, let's just send them something. Here's a consolation prize. I feel like there should be a little chain hanging from below the chin. It looks like a lamp.
It does.
It does.
Oh my God.
Right.
Like a pottery barn for kids lamp, like the Star Wars.
Dude, honestly, Jason, if it was, it would be better. If you had a lamp in there and it lit up through the eyes and the ear holes, and like maybe out of the top, it would actually be like people would be probably like, oh man, maybe I should pick this up. Like Sideshow's selling like a lamp. That's kind of cool.
When I first saw it, I said it's missing the little pull chain. It looks like a lamp.
Yeah,
I just think that if you are claiming,
see it now, can you?
No. If you claim to make the most accurate helmet possible, why would you make the most accurate helmet possible and then stick it on a base that is themed, is not accurate to anything, totally competes when you're trying to have perfection next to Disneyland.
Steve, you know what the biggest problem here is that like helmet collectors. I mean, what helmet have you bought that has a themed base other than the Clothiers one? The Clothiers one did that with the massive iron thing that came with it, which I don't like. But they're doing it. They tried to do it here. I don't think it really works with helmets. I just don't.
It doesn't work with statues either.
It does work with statues sometimes.
Well, no, I mean like Vader standing on top of his.
No, I
his
get you.
castle.
I get you. But like Moff saying that Prime 1 makes the best theme bases. I mean, look, there are bases that are freaking amazing that are theme bases. They do have them, but they're statues. Like statues do a good job of doing that because they can do that. I agree with you. Like there's also statues that do it like this, like the Vader standing on the freaking medieval times, and it just doesn't work. It just looks bad. And that's what this is, man. It looks really shitty. That gun looks like freaking, it looks like you bought it at Target and just set it there for the shop.
How much is this?
9 something.
Wow.
Now, I in a way I feel bad too, because there's a lot of friends of ours, a lot of friends in our community who went out and bought this. And a lot are disappointed, a lot like it. And I think as Jason said,
some people went out and bought it after the fact.
Yeah, that's true also. Jason said in the beginning, if you like it, you enjoy it, great, good for you. None of the opinions that we're expressing here are meant to shit on you or anything like that. For us, generally we just do not like this at all. It just doesn't do what we think a helmet should do.
No. It's a fail. There's nothing wrong with that. EFX could have delivered it, and it's not. I don't want to get into the whole license accuracy thing again, but it's just they dropped the ball here. Which moving on to the next piece.
I know some people, guys. I know some people like licensed pieces only, right? And so like, where else are you gonna get a good licensed?
Yeah,
listen, I feel like licensed pieces fall short in most exampple like this.
But look at Regal Robot.
Well, yeah, okay. Regal Robot
knocks it out of the park every single time.
The one that is totally, I'm wrong about that. Okay,
I think
Regal Robot knocks it out. Yeah, they're the exception.
Sure,
but like EFX, I haven't really seen anything that really tickles my fancy yet.
When they first came out, and I said this before, when they first came out, EFX was killing it. I mean, they had.
Well,
Jason, isn't that Master Replica was killing it too? Like
Master Replica. So you had Iron Destiny. Iron Destiny probably did an okay job. Master Replica stepped up and knocked it out of the park. You had a full museum quality display piece right out of the box.
Right.
Guys, think about
of it was killer. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Think about the garbage and Novo shit we saw at Celebration. Like we walked into that Anovo's tent.
Novo.
Everything was terrible. Every single piece looked god awful.
The paint was atrocious.
Oh, Bo-Katan looked like it was thrown up on. It was awful.
Yeah. So in the meantime, here we've had a friend of ours join us on the show. Hello, Nathan.
He's being awful quiet. Nathan, did you get this? You're being quiet.
Can you hear me, first of all?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Hear you. Good.
So what do you think of the helmet, Nathan? What are your thoughts?
I did see pictures of this the other day, and yeah,
be honest, brother. Be honest.
I mean, it's the weathering for me. Really, it looks like it's just been spray painted.
Right.
Like it looks like I think Cece said it or something. It looks like overspray from someone's spray paint can.
I'm telling you.
And the fact that people have waited, I don't know how people could wait 10 years for something like this. But yeah. Not,
yes.
But the Scout Trooper helmet is one of my favorite helmets as well.
Yeah, I know. But Nathan, do you have the RS Scout?
I don't know.
Okay.
that's the one I actually looked at from RS.
Yeah,
Like a year or so ago. But
you need to get it. It's fantastic.
yeah.
It's such a good helmet.
But I'll be honest, I'd prefer to get the new Black Series Scout over this one.
Nathan,
Wow.
I actually said that
agree.
last night. The Black Series, I gotta say, they're for the price, they're killing it lately. Like
Yeah.
they are delivering. For $100
Well-
you're getting a great Bo-Katan helmet, Death
Jason,
Watch.
don't they have access to everything? Like
They do.
they
Some
do,
of them,
right? I mean,
I don't want to say all of them, but some of them were digitally scanned. I think.
right.
Some of them. Yeah.
I did just pre-order the new Clone Trooper one, the one that they showed at Celebration.
Oh, that's cool.
30-second
Yeah.
one, which looks pretty cool.
I'm debating getting that one too, just to have it for display, because it's like I don't think I want to pay out the nose for a De Novo when I think the Black Series, if it's just going to sit on a shelf. And actually, what I like about the Black Series Scout as well is that I was debating. I don't know if I'll do it because I'm not good at finishing projects, but I'd love to paint it like Ezra painted a few of them in Rebels,
Yeah, right.
or it was like the graffiti style.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
Steve. Go ahead.
No. I was agreeing with you. Cool. Yeah.